Today, my friends, we are going to be doing something special. We are going to be revisiting a player that I have done a review for already in the past. We're going to see their improvements in real time, if they made any. And don't forget, of course, as I say in every single replay review video, if you would like your replay reviewed, if you have any burning questions that no one seems to know the answers to, if you would like them answered, or if you just want to show how pro you are, make sure you check that highlighted pinned comment down below. Huge shout out to this player here, Rise, a member of the channel. So not only are they helping to support the channel and the content that I create, this is why I'm able to do this free stuff, but they also get to jump in front of the line of every single event that we do. This is why members get their replays done before everybody else. So of course, if you would like to be first in line for not just replay reviews, but everything else I do on this channel, consider becoming a member down below. Or if you just want to help support the channel and the content that I create, I really appreciate it. And as I said before, without you members, there wouldn't be none of this. So thank you. And for those of you that aren't members and you already had a review or something like that, thank them, because this is why. Let's roll. All right, so in this gameplay, we're going to be playing some Doctor Strange. First things first, we don't want to trick our team into positioning into a really crappy spot. This happens quite a bit, and it doesn't really matter what rank it is. Players tend to position in really weird spots that are the tanks, and then everyone else tends to follow suit. As you can tell, this just does not look like a good spot for anybody, right? There's no cover for anyone here. If you want to stand in a spot, try to stand up here if you really want to just be up close and do damage, so that way you can fall back and get back to your team. But most of the time you want to think of yourself as like a shepherd. You know, the sheep go where you go. The sheep goes where you tell them to go. And if you are not really thinking about it that way, you can lead them into really dangerous spots to get them picked off. So as any tank main out there, please play in the better spots for your team, not just for you. Also, you have a Penny as another tank. Penny doesn't want to walk out there like that, so you got to play to her as well. You got to play to everybody. Everybody, you're all a team. Play together. Share the wealth, share the love. Okay, as you see, we're starting to get pushed in, and you have to walk back anyway. But you see, look, she's all out of position now because of where you decided to tank. The Loki clones are all out of position. Like Star-Lord has to try to reposition. Everybody's just all clustered because they didn't really have enough time to adjust. You put them in a spot for them to have to think on the fly. We start to hold here as they push. Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Right? And it's a lot harder to reposition when you are pressured than it is to do it when you have enough time to think about these things. So again, be very mindful about where you're standing as a tank because you are shepherding a flock. All right, so they're trying to push in and you push them back. Cool. Textbook. Don't do this. Don't worry about it. If someone gets past you, they got past you. There's another tank that can handle that, and you also have an entire team that can handle that. We want to focus on what's going to collapse on you if that guy decides to break through. I know it seems enticing, especially because the dude's low, but your team can handle that. Trust them to handle that. Pay attention to this. Because what happens if he does this, everybody turns around just like this. She gets picked because nobody's paying attention. And then on top of that, Groot just walks in and ults everybody. Everybody's wiped all because you turned your back. Be very careful. There's no reason to do that if it's only one player. You have to weigh the pros and cons. The goal of a tank, generally speaking, when you're talking about convoy or convergence, and you're just trying to keep them away, your goal is to be like a tower, right? Without the tower, people could just walk through. I always say it's a tower defense game. When you're here, they meet resistance. When you're not, they can do whatever they want. You don't want them to just start spilling out like crazy because you're gonna lose the fight. Like, you don't want someone to start coming this way, people to go this way, people to go here, be able to destroy nests, and then now they're just flooding into the team and surrounding you guys. You don't want that. You don't want that. And we prevent that by holding our ground and being that tower. The people behind you can handle what Thor is doing. Okay, so Rocket decides to ult, which is very, very weird. Yep, just back up and give it space. I do like that. Now we know that Penny's nest is gone, so you have to be a little bit more aggressive because Penny doesn't have a way to help you. So you really want to be a threat. You want to be in all these guys' faces until she could put her nest down again. So let's see what you do. Okay, the guy passed you. Cool. Nope, no. Turn around. You don't want them to flood in. This is what we talked about before. You see how they're starting to flood in? All it takes is for someone to get a nice fat ult and your whole entire team gets wiped because we weren't paying attention. Not just you, but like everybody wasn't paying attention. I don't think it will happen since Rocket wasted their ultimate. Loki's ult's coming up soon, but we'll see. Okay, so Thor gets away. Cloak and Dagger then ults into the map and pushes your entire team back. Now, imagine if we were still doing damage and we weren't turning around and all that, you would have your ult by now. If you had your ult by now and you knew Cloak and Dagger was going to ult, you could have just ulted her right then and there because nobody's paying attention. They were all pushing the point, right? You ult as soon as she's starting to get close to you, and then you KO her and they don't have an ult. So it unfolds, but your team's able to kind of capitalize on it. And this is the type of situation that happens when like our team can cover up our mistakes. But this is the type of game that, even though of course we already know EOMM's not real, they already said what they said about it. This is what makes it seem like, oh, it's in our favor. Well, you had mistakes and your team covered up your mistakes. What happens if you make the same mistakes, but your team isn't good enough to cover your mistakes? Then we end up in a situation where my team may suck, EOMM, and all that extra nonsense. It doesn't really matter, right? This is what's happening here. So if you find yourself in a position where you feel like you are consistent in your gameplay, but some matches it goes well and some matches it doesn't, it's because your teammate covers up those mistakes. You have to figure out what those mistakes were and how to fix it. In this particular instance, your team kind of got run over because you kept turning your back. Okay, so they're coming for the push again. No reason for this. No reason for this at all. When you're using your abilities as any character, you're using it kind of selfishly. Very rarely are you gonna use it for your team unless it's something really specific. Let's just say Star-Lord ults and then you fly up to ult him out the sky. That's very specific and it's very rare, but there are times where you're going to use your abilities more selflessly than selfishly. But even at high ranks, prioritize selfish most of the time if possible. I would have definitely waited for them to get close. Why do you feel like we have to force this play if they have no ultimate? We saw all of them use them last fight. They have nothing. Just wait. Chill out. Once they overcommit, then you can ult and you'll be able to KO their backline because they'll get a little bit too close. It works out, but it shouldn't have. And again, this is what I'm talking about. So we're doing the thing that like it only works sometimes. We want to do plays that tend to be successful majority of the time. Now, in these next 60 seconds, I guarantee you're gonna wish you had that ultimate. But let's watch and let's see. Okay, so he ults. Imagine if we did have that ult. We charged up our bar to almost 100% because that's what you usually want to do with Strange. Boom, fight. It's at 80%, 90%. Fly up. Eye of Agamotto. That's 4 players blasted right there. You do not fail this. They are way too close. And you get the KO. You can see how just waiting can allow you to have much more opportunities for your games. On top of this, it is a selfish play, but it's also a selfless play. Why is this a selfless play? Well, it's selfish because you're waiting for your moment to get some KOs, but it's selfless because you're preventing a push. Thor is opening up the gate to allow his team to push onto point and start fighting. You going up, popping your Eye of Agamotto and KOing 2 to 3 targets, or all 4 if you got game. That stalled their whole entire push, and they have to wait for the entire team to spawn again. Thor won't have his ultimate. Like, they're cooked, right? You gain much more value by stopping their push than you did before because they weren't really pushing. You just engaged on them. All right, so you guys are starting to hold the point after they got the first point here. I personally wouldn't choose this spot to hold. It's a very weird spot to hold. I would always choose to hold here. As a tank, again, you're shepherding your flock. You got to make sure that they are in good spots for you. And should they have to reposition, they don't have to do it so quickly. When you're positioned there, everybody's it's a really screwed up spot for everybody. Nobody's in a good spot at all. It's rough. Loki clones can be shot. Like, they can't really see if you decide to push. It's rough. But if you hold here, it tells your entire team to continue to hold behind you or around you. And yes, you're giving up just a little bit of space, but if you get KO'd here and you're wiped, you give up way more than you would have if you just would have held out right here. So I highly recommend really paying attention to where you're holding and picking and choosing really advantageous spots, not just for you, but for your entire team. All right, so we got our ult here again. Remember, we want to be more efficient with it. We already kind of KO'd a bit of their team, so we're waiting for people to respawn. Nothing should really happen right now, so we shouldn't even look to fight if we don't have to. Okay, you're definitely looking for an ult. Yeah, I thought so. But why? Why? If you think about it, you just flew up and you separated their team. That's just as good. Hold your shield and just sit behind Invisible Woman. She's gonna get attacked anyway, and she's not gonna get healed. She's gonna get KO'd, or she's gonna look to ult. But if you look, she doesn't even have ult. We would know this because she already used it in the other fight. So, yeah, this wasn't necessary. You would get this pick regardless. All you had to do was hold your shield. Now, we don't have it. Or if we need it. So we're gonna see, do we need the ult in the next few seconds? We could have used it there. Same concept, right? We know that Cloak and Dagger is gonna get ready to ult. Could we technically use it to stop it? So let's see. If we had eyes on her when we were fighting, and you came over here and you flew up, and you dropped down, Eye of Agamotto. That's a 2 people KO right there. You'd get Punisher, and you would get the Cloak and Dagger. Now, Fish Boy might actually keep them. You'd have to be on point. So again, you need to make sure that your power level is about 80 to 90. You need to combo instantly. So you're looking for a primary melee Maelstrom, like in a span of a second. If you could pull that off, you will one shot, and you won't be able to heal through that. And then you would stop the ult from coming out from her, and you know, that'd just be it. You guys would win right here. So first, I want to congratulate you because we did improve in a lot of aspects. However, now we're starting to climb and get into the big boy section. What I mean by that is you need to start using your abilities more efficiently and being more impactful to your team. I'm not talking just about your ultimate, but I'm talking about your flight. I'm talking about your shield. I'm talking about your Maelstrom, just how you move around and how you fight, what targets we're picking on, all that extra good stuff. There should be a lot more thought process into going into why you're doing everything that you're doing within this game. Although it makes sense, there's not really a lot of thought process behind it. It's more of like, I see it and I'm going to act. I see it, I'm going to act. However, you notice that every time I explain something, I can use the same ability or do the same interaction a multitude of different ways based off what goals I'm trying to, right? If I want to position and hold an angle, I need to make sure that my backline is in a safe spot too. So I might not want to hold point A, but I will hold point B. When it goes to using my ultimate or looking for a target to take out, yes, that person looks juicy, but if I know that person has an ult getting ready to, you know, pop off, I'm probably going to take out that person so that they don't have the chance to use their ult for this fight. This means next fight, their whole entire team has no ults, but they do. Now what are they going to do? They're going to stagger their ult, or they're going to stagger their momentum, but that all happened because of the chain reaction done by you, the player. Now, I do want to say this is more of an abstract type of VOD lesson, but if you guys are struggling with any of this, again, I highly recommend checking out the highlighted pinned comment down below. You can get your replay done. And of course, if you want more of a hands-on approach, whether you want to be on call with me or not, I highly recommend checking out that coaching link down below. It has different options for everyone. Again, whether you're on the go, whether you have time, whether you want to be on call with me or not, check it out. Highly recommend. Link in the description below if you truly want to improve that gameplay. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, you know what I always say. You guys are doing what? Popping often. Well.